Page Mill Pastures was a 500-acre horse boarding facility in Palo Alto on Stanford land. At its peak, we had well over 120 horses and quite a community of horse owners. Beginning early last year, Stanford began asking the ranch manager to reduce the number of horses there, and eventually ended up at only 25 horses at the end of last year. So I had a birthday party to go to on the other side of the ranch today, so I thought I'd take a ride by and fly over it with my drone and see what the ranch looks like now that the property is not having very many horses anymore. So the area I'm flying over now began at the main parking lot, and this was called the Mare's Pasture, and by that name it housed the mares. There are also stalls kind of right where I am right now, and some beautiful hills and valleys. This was about 250 acres of the ranch property. The building you see in the picture now is just west of the property, and that's actually the Tesla headquarters. But back onto the ranch land here, you'll see a gate just in the middle of your picture right now, and beyond that gate is where the mares lived. On this side of the gate was where the pastures were, and where we walked every day to begin our ride. Once through the gate, there was 2 or 3 lovely valleys. The middle of the picture now is hard to see, but that's a beautiful valley, and I'd often ride down there and find deer. Off to the right there, yeah, right in the center of the picture now, is a beautiful hill that we used to run up. It's, you can't see how steep it is, but it's quite a steep hill, and it was a wonderful canter or gallop up to the top of that hill. So what you're seeing way in the distance, that kind of earth-looking view out there, is the remaining 25 horses where they're boarded in the arenas. But back onto the old mare's pasture, you can see a trail along the top of the ridge there, a little bit on the right side of the screen. We used to love running down that trail and down into those valleys. Now you can kind of see a little bit better what a valley is there. And down there now is a road where they used to feed the horses, and then Tesla again, and then back looking towards the main parking lot. Out in the distance across Deer Creek is the original gelding pasture, and we'll be flying over that in a little while once I land the drone and move over to that area. So now I've moved over to the gelding pasture, entering it from Coyote Hill Road, which was on the other side of the pasture from where we viewed it before. So there you can barely see off to the right of the screen a trail going up this hill, and once again that was a trail we all loved to run up and get up on top of a hill where we could see Page Mill Road on one side of us and more of the ranch on the other. So I'm going to try and get up on this hill and kind of go down it a ways, see how that looks. So off to the left you'll see a road. That was where the horses were fed every day. A truck would go down there and drop off food for them. It was also a nice, long, flat, straight road, so when the horses weren't eating, it was a great place to run your horse. The tree that's coming into the center of the picture was planted as a memorial to the deceased horse of some good friends of ours, Susan and Avi. So I wanted to make sure that I got the drone out there and got a picture of the tree here so they can see their remembrance. So I paused the movie at this point with the drone and took a snapshot, and then took a second snapshot and tried to get a close-up so you could see the tree a little better. Now back to the movie. So what you're seeing in the distance is the main parking lot where I shot the prior scene. So that's Deer Creek Road on the other side. So time to turn back and head back to where I started this video from. And then we're going to cross to the right for a view of the other part of the gelding pasture. You'll see that hill. I actually had to go on the other side of that hill and park in a parking lot for one of the businesses over there because Stanford has put some new fences up and it was a little difficult to find a way in. But I did get a good video over there, you'll see in a minute. So here we are climbing up the east side of that hill I showed in the previous scene, the far side of it from where we were before. And once again, there's a trail that goes up this long hill that takes you up to a great, beautiful overlook. And again, it was one of our enjoyable rides to canter up this hill, up this trail, up to where we could get a beautiful overlook. So today I'm going to trace that trail with the drone. I kind of paused my forward motion here and decided to gain quite a bit of altitude. I'm on a hill that's getting higher and higher, and there's trees on the hill that I'm going over, and from my perspective on the ground I couldn't see clearly enough that I was going to be able to go over those trees. So I'm up awfully darn high at this point, but I am getting up near the scenic point. I think you see it just kind of in the lower right hand of the screen there is where we used to ride to and get a nice view out over the area towards the ocean. So I thought I'd stop here and just kind of do a 360-degree spin so you can see the kind of view we used to see after we'd ridden to the top of this point. So at this point I had the drone so high I could not see it. I could hear it, but I couldn't see it. So I have a thing that shows me the direction where I am relative to the drone, so I was flying it back towards me and I just pointed the camera straight down until I could recognize something on the ground, and I said, okay, well I know where those trees are, so I'll just kind of come down there, and I'm not too far away from it. So it was kind of dicey at that point. And finally, this is an area known as the flat pasture, mostly because it's flat. And it's where we kept horses that were retired and very old, or newborn and very young, or injured. So it was a smallish pasture, it didn't have much of an incline to it, and the horses could kind of take it easy there. And finally, while I was in that main parking lot, our old ranch hand drove in to put away some equipment. I got a chance to chat with him for a while. His name was Camillo, and he was the most beloved ranch hand you could ever imagine. Everyone at the ranch just thought the world of this man.